So while everybody is getting ready, hope you got your coffee, hope you got your drinks, hope you're ready for some laughs, hope you're ready for some excitement. Uh, so we're gonna talk about something that I love very much. I know Jan, if you don't follow Jan yet on any of his social channels, it is a ton of fun. Um, and it's all about UX, UI, design fundamentals, the industry itself, and we're about to get it started. For everybody
Yeah.
who's here, if you are here from the outside, you don't know about the ADP list, we are a group of design professionals, UX professionals, and everything else under the sun. We're here to help mentor, we're here to help people grow, we're here to help ourselves grow. And you can find us on adplist.org. And if you want to relive this moment over and over again, you're going to see in the chat. We have a YouTube channel that you can go look at old stuff. You know, our entire industry is about that continual education. It's always about being an advocate for what you do. So the more information you get is always good. So I'm going to introduce Jan. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello everyone. My name is Jan. I'm UX design freelancer from Czech Republic, and I'm also co-founder of Atheros Intelligence. We are building some of our products like Atheros Learning, Atheros Cloud, and also we are delivering solutions for other mainly UK and US startups, and also for big international companies such as United Nations, for example. And yeah, can we start with the presentation?
Yeah. One thing
Yeah.
I want to tell you guys, I know y'all gonna have questions during all this. We have a website you can go to. You can drop in some questions. It's gonna be in the chat, so don't be afraid. Ask anything you want. Uh, and yeah, let's get it going.
Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Just to confirm. Okay, awesome. So yeah, hello everyone. First of all, thank you for joining this group session. I believe it will be valuable for you, and you will get a new point of view on the design industry, and it will, for example, motivate you to explore this industry much more in detail. During the presentation will take like a half hour, where we will define some key factors of UX design industry. You will get a detailed view on aspects that you should consider if you want to start with design. I will give you steps that you can take for entering this industry. We will define what are the key topics you should start exploring, and also you will learn what you should do for establishing your design identity to be attractive for potential clients and employers. I will start just briefly with my story before we will start with the own content. I started with UX design during my last year on high school, but I was exploring design industry just as self-taught during my last year on high school. Because we don't have like special university programs in Czech Republic, where I come from. We don't have there like special universities for that, and to help aspiring UX designers. So I started business administration at the University of Economics in Prague. During the studies, I started also working on my first freelance projects, and also we established our company with my two brothers. But what I want to say you with this like short story is that you don't have to study UX at a university to be a designer. Definitely, if you have that opportunity to learn design in a university program, go for it. Like, it might help you on your design journey, but it's not a must-have. Moreover, I think that my economics and business background helped me, like, not directly in my UX design career, as I'm able to understand how the business behind works and so on. So it's mainly for you, for example, who has university in another industry. It's not a must-have to have a design degree. You can enter industry without that. The second milestone of my story is co-founding Atheros company with my two brothers. And yeah, I already presented to what we are actually doing. And yeah, and for example, our most recent project is called Atheros Learning, as I mentioned, which is closely connected to the third milestone of my story, which is sharing educational content on social media, mostly on Instagram, but currently we are joining also YouTube and so on.
That's
Yeah.
Hold on. I gotta ask a quick question.
Yeah, sure.
What do your brothers do? Are both of your brothers in UX? Are they developers? Are they
Yeah.
henchmen?
They're both developers.
Oh wow.
So it's like a good foundation to have, like two brothers developers. I'm designer, so it's good. What we can do, just establish a digital company.
So now is it like a true family establishment where you guys like you may propose some kind of UX thing and they come back and be like, well, really can't do that. And then you guys get into like a straight up like brother style tussle, beating each other up, being like, no, I want the CSS to look this way.
It's like we have like brothers have trust in my like design. Of course, we evaluate it in like testing sessions and so on. So yeah, we have like the process already defined for it, but like at the starting it was like hectic, and yeah, but it's like evolution of every company, I
That's
guess.
so cool. That's so cool. And also, if you guys have come into UX from a different avenue, throw it in the chat. Tell us what you were doing. I was a graphic designer beforehand and found my
Yeah.
way into UX from doing like web design back in the early 2000s because I'm old as hell. But being with the ADP list, I've heard so many great stories of people who have just found their way in UX from so many different facets.
Yeah. Yeah, to continue with the presentation, I think we should start with defining like how we will understand UX design at all. So basically, UX design is a process of creating an interface of a digital product, such as app, web app, or website, which is delivering a positive and enjoyable experience for all group of users. It sounds quite simple, but usually it's not that easy, as you have to consider three main following aspects determining an interface and experience design. First, users, of course, business and technology. Lots of designers are focusing mainly on users, and that's definitely a good mindset, but you can't forget on business, as it goes hand in hand with a successful product and also user satisfaction. The last aspect is technology. For you as a UX designer, it means that you should communicate closely with developers and evaluate technology possibilities of features that you are designing, and also make sure you evaluate the effort and impact of particular features with developers. Because yeah, there might be sometimes quite big gaps with designers and developers, but we will talk about it a little bit more in detail later. And yeah, mainly the state when you meet all those factors precisely and where all of them are overlapping, so users, technology, and business, designers called UX design sweet spot. This was just like a very general like definition, but I think it's good to have it in the presentation as well. And now we can move on to the UX design industry at all. First of all, you are entering the IT industry. This gives you big advantages, as it's definitely the fastest growing and perspective industry, bringing you lots of benefits that we will discuss also in this presentation. Yeah, then work of UX designers might have a huge impact on people's lives. Everyone from us interacts with multiple interfaces and digital products daily. For example, just now when we are having this meeting, your experience from this meeting is strongly influenced by the Zoom interface. Like what I want to say is that your work as a UX designer will be seen by people and influence their lives and I hope it will be in a positive way. But also it can be, of course, in a negative way. Maybe maybe you wouldn't, like you wouldn't enter this meeting if the interface wouldn't be like good enough for it. Yeah, and as we mentioned before, we are in the IT industry, which means the rewards are above the standard in comparison with other industries. I will show you some concrete statistic later. What I really love on being a UX UI designer is the diversity of activities that you will do. Of course, there is some repetitiveness, but every project or product that you work on is unique, and you have to consider various conditions of a particular product. The diversity is overlapping also to opportunities that you have as a UX designer, because like, do you prefer working on your own business? You can be a freelancer, or do you prefer the advantages of being an employee? Both of them are real for UX designers. The awesome thing is also that you can create your own products, such as UI kits, design system, and other digital products that you can offer and scale your income from your design activities. That's definitely one of the advantage too. I want to mention the community. UX designers are really active on social media, and they are contributing to an awesome community which is formed around UX design. And you can see it just like we are here, because yeah, mainly on Instagram you can find lots of creators who are ready to help you on your design journey, or just you can discuss the latest trends and design topics within their daily content. And I will definitely mention some of my favorite accounts later, so you can get inspiration and join the community just now. There are no like barriers. Yeah, and the last point that I have on this slide is that you should be aware of in this industry is very competitiveness. The previously mentioned advantages attract lots of people to UX design, and I have to say that it's currently one of the most competitive industry at all. The number of designers is still growing, and of course there are lots of opportunities, but you have to be very patient and work on your design identity continuously. But yeah, but we will discuss it as well later. As I mentioned, the UX design is competitive. On the other hand, the value of designers bring huge value to businesses. For you as an aspiring UX designer, it's definitely important to be able to explain the value of UX design, and you can do it through the following statistics. For example, if I have to choose, for example, according to DMI and motive strategies funded by Microsoft, design-led companies outperformed the SP 500 by 211%. I think that's a self-explanatory reason why you should care about UX within your digital business. And in this way, you can like present it to your potential clients, and just to your friends who sometimes will be not sure what actually UX design is.
That is 100% true.
Yeah.
UX design to people is very, very fun and extremely frustrating. Jan, quick question: how do you feel companies see UX as part of their overall like organization these days?
Sometimes it takes some time when they realize they really need it, to be honest. For example, like most of the clients that we work with, they think that like they already have working product, but then it's like working from the technology perspective, but when the UX is not there, like they didn't care about it yet, and they realize, oh, it's not like work, we can like, it's not usable for the public. And yeah, that's like the state when they realize they need UX. But of course, some of the company, I think it's going like better than in the past. Like companies now value the UX design much more than in the previous times.
Oh, definitely. Do you ever feel bad telling a client being like, "So this is hot garbage. Like
Hmm.
you need help."
Yeah, yeah. Like yeah, if you want to push like your business on the next level, you have to accept it, you know.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
Yeah, and yeah, so let's continue. There is never enough motivation, so let's take a look at average salaries of UX designers by years of experience. As you can see, the rewards are really not bad, even for not that experienced designers. Of course, the rewards are different based on countries, but within those statistics, they asked almost 4,000 designers from more than 100 countries around the world. So it's a good sample of respondents, I guess. Yeah, and you can of course reach even higher numbers if you decide to freelance, but it's definitely not an easy discipline, UX design freelancing. But I guess that's a topic for a separate presentation maybe in the future. um,
Absolutely.
yeah, that was mainly pros, but there are definitely some aspects that you should own when entering the design industry. The first one is patience. I already mentioned it, but don't expect that you will learn all the stuff during months, or you will attend a course and be a great designer instantly. I'm receiving lots of messages from designers that they can't find a job after 3 months of learning design, and they are so frustrated. But easily you have to work hard and practice daily for a much longer time than few months. Moreover, the process is never ending, so make sure you are searching still for new trends and topics continuously. UX designers work in team. Also, if you work as a freelancer, you will still work in a team. You will be supposed to communicate with clients or with target users. And if you are not confident, don't panic. You can start with joining the community of UX designers and on social media, and start like practicing communication, even if English is not your native language. The same it's for me. Like I'm from Czech Republic, you know, and I was also a little bit like shy, and the community helped me a lot in this way. And but of course I understand that communication skills are individual, but it doesn't mean that you can't practice, you know. And yeah, last but not least, of course, desktop or laptop. I mention it because some aspiring designers think that they can do all the stuff on tablet, but you easily need a desktop device. So yeah, it's quite obvious, but I mentioned it there. The good thing is that you don't have to pay for expensive softwares for starting. Yeah, let's move on to the concrete steps, how to get started with UX design. First of all, you should know the process. The most common framework is the design thinking method, which differs the 6 following phases. You as a UX designer should definitely know the whole process and understand its relation between those stages. But in this presentation, we will definitely not go through each activity, but I want to share with you an approach which I would take to learn the UX at all. It's probably not that popular opinion, but I would start with prototyping activities, which are like the fourth phase of the process. The tool where you can start practicing interface design is Figma, or to be precise, it's definitely not the only software you can use. There is a large palette of prototyping tools such as Adobe XD, InVision, Sketch, and so on. But in my point of view, Figma is the most progressive one, and it's real-time collaboration, for example, is a huge thing for teams and for the design in the company. Within Figma, you can create a high fidelity prototypes showing how the final product should look and how will final users interact with it. Practicing in Figma or in the prototyping tool definitely takes the longest time. So I would recommend doing it as a first step on your design journey. Figma has a free plan, like I mentioned, that you don't have to like spend huge amount of money for expensive software. You can just start now and download Figma and start on the blank canvas now.
Question.
Yeah, sure.
What do you think when it comes to like looking for a job? Do you think it's good to kind of have your hands in each one of the different softwares? Is it okay just to be Figma centric? How do you feel when it comes to the market out there?
If you are if you are looking for a job, definitely you should be prepared for switching, definitely, because the company will not change the software because you would rather work in Figma. But it's important to say that there are like no significant differences between all of them. So yeah, definitely you can like you can download. I think that Figma, Adobe XD, or Sketch are the standard currently, and yeah, you should be okay. Like if you can explore all of them, but the principle is the same, and it shouldn't take you like a long time to to switch on another prototyping tool.
They have found a way to make everything super easy for us to jump from one to one.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right, like the real time collaboration, like Figma came out, made it a big thing. Adobe adapted it, Sketch adapted to it. Like you said,
Mm-hmm.
it's all about community. It's all
Yeah.
about how we work together, and these tools really help us.
Yeah, mainly what I also love on Figma is like its community, because you can, for example, explore community files with, I don't know, like icon packages, illustrations, or some UI kits, which are like that, which you can duplicate directly in Figma, and it will like help you a lot on your with the learning, and also then when with creating design systems, uh, which I want to mention just now, because yeah, once you will download Figma or another prototyping tool and start creating the first screens, you should know about design systems, which might be an awesome source of inspiration and industry standards that you should follow. Design systems are collections of components, rules, and principles that companies use across their products, and some of that information is public, so definitely check some of the following 6 design systems. I mentioned the most popular ones, which might be really useful and insightful, especially if you are just starting. You can inspire by their component design and so on. For example, if you are not sure like how big and the components should be, and about the specification of the components, definitely go for it. Visit Material Design System by Google. That they have it really clear. And yeah, I'm not saying like you have to copy it, but it will give you like great view on the design, and it's like industry standard. When those big companies do it, you can't be wrong.
So I know you have your whole learning component that you have out there. Do you have any videos or walkthroughs about how to build a design system?
No. Currently I don't have any videos like which I've done by myself, but to be honest, like building a design systems, also it is not like thing only for big companies. For most of my clients, when we are delivering the design, we are like setting foundation of their own design system, because it will help you a lot when you align also with the developers. You have the components ready and you just reuse them across the system and across the products of the company. For example, yeah, we know that Google has multiple of products, and they just can reuse it, and it will speed up a lot. Also the development phase, but also it will it will create a standard of a user experience for users and improve learnability of your product as well.
Yeah, if you anybody who is in like that Apple ecosystem and has an Apple Watch and possibly went and got the Apple credit card, you would see that some of the components that are in the rings that you close are also reused for credit card on how you spend. So like as you build these elements of a design system, like Jan said, it was like, it helps the speed to development because the developers know what happened, but also from a reusable standpoint, you can use it for a different use case and still get an effective outcome for the user because,
Yeah.
we're very simple people sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, so with prototyping, you can of course explore other activities of UX design network, which you can see in this visualization. But like I say, the prototyping is the crucial one, and it's like simple to start with it, and yeah, it takes a long time to practice and so on. The question which rises now is where to get information about all those activities. So let's take a look at some sources of learning. First of all, I want to talk about online courses. I'm happy to present to you that 3 weeks ago, I released my own comprehensive online course, which is available on a platform called Atheros Learning. You can find there video content, quizzes, resources, and you will get access to a private Slack channel where I'm providing consultations and feedback to my students and helping them with next career steps and with their current projects. So definitely you can check us on Atheros Learning. I also have to mention articles on Medium and other blogs. Like if you are searching for a help or a solution of a specific problem, some particular activity that is mentioned in the previous slide, articles are really great source for you, and there are tons of them. I would recommend the publishers like UX Planet, UX Collective, Nielsen Norman Group, or UX Misfits, and yeah, it provides the detailed view on a problem.
Make this part of your day too. Like I'm every morning waking up, like going through UX Collective while I'm drinking my
Yeah,
coffee and like seeing what new articles are there. There are great stories about people's experience. There's some hot takes. There's some tons of educational content. But yeah, like we said earlier, like this whole job is just a constant evolution. So get up on it.
yeah, definitely. It will keep you up to date. Yeah, I also have to mention the third pillar of learning, representing social media. Like there are tons of creators sharing daily content for free. In comparison with course or articles, you will find there like not that detailed information, but it's a really great source of like daily learning. Definitely make sure that you follow those creators, are my most favorite ones. And if you will follow them, you will like transform your feed on social media to something that brings real value to you, and you can like grow with the social media. It's not like about consuming photos and so on. So definitely like following those creators will change your view on social media. And of course, last but not least, are books. You can start with the following publications. Mainly Don't Make Me Think by Steve Crook might give you great mindset necessary for successful UX UI designers. and it's like a Bible of designers. So definitely it's a must-have if you want to start with the UX design. Yeah, as mentioned, UX design industry is really competitive. So if you want to find a UX design job, it's a little bit easier than finding freelance projects, in my point of view. On the other hand, for both of those options, you should build your own designer identity, which will help you to attract employers and clients and showcase your work. The must-have is building your portfolio. The most important aspect of portfolio is to showcase your design skills. So it's definitely good to explain the process and the approach you follow for delivering usable and smooth designs, and show how you can help to a business. That's important, like for mainly for freelancers, like explain how you can exactly help to a business, not just like of course you can put only like like fancy dashboards and so on, but it's important to explain the process behind as well. Of course you can showcase like your works on external platforms such as Dribbble or Behance, where you might have a good reach. But the best is probably having your own website, as it looks the most professional. For its creation, you can use some of the no-code tools such as Webflow or Editor X. And yeah, there are tons of those tools which enabling you like to create your portfolio on own website very fast.
And your
Yeah.
portfolio is like who you are. Like that's your identity. Like it should bring your personality. Like, it's also your home. Like this is where people are coming in. So you always like treat them with that same like kind of care that when you put put a portfolio together, that it is welcoming and it's walks them through easy. Always remember that like that UX process that you're getting into doesn't stop with your portfolio. Like you should always treat your portfolio like it's a UX project. Take your name off of it and then build it out, because it helps you out so much on understanding who that user who's coming and who the journey is for.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, then there are of course social media, where we are talking about designer identity, where you can showcase your work. The following 5 platforms are, in my point of view, relevant for designers. Of course, it's better to be active on most of them, but if I have to choose, I would definitely recommend to you LinkedIn and Behance for starting. Those are definitely the best for searching job opportunities. Mainly having a good profile on LinkedIn might attract lots of recruiters and clients as well. It will give you much better position than using platforms like Upwork or Fiverr for searching projects, like actively asking and attending some tenders and so on. Yeah, the Instagram is also good, but you have to have like quite high reaches to attract some serious opportunities, to be honest. So for that, I would highlight mainly LinkedIn and Behance for starting.
The one thing I love about Instagram, it's a great place for inspiration. Like you said before, like following the right accounts. You type in UX. The one good thing about UX people is that they love putting UX in their name, so you'll be able to figure out who they are real quick. And also following the hashtags UX design, research,
Mhm.
interactive design. Like it always kind of builds out. And if you are an Adobe member and you subscribe to Creative Cloud, Behance is free. It's part of it.
Yeah, definitely. If you are like if you are aspiring a freelancer, Behance might give you like serious leads if you will have there like a strong work to show. For example, in comparison with Dribbble, it's not on Dribbble, it's not that serious, to be honest, but it's based on my experience, so maybe it can be different. Yeah, and yeah, the last part of this presentation, I want to quickly present to you the key topics that you should learn if we talk about UI design. I mean the visual part of UX design process. You will probably start with it. Definitely take a look at the topics such as typography, mainly choosing right fonts and scaling them into typography styles. Then colors, explore psychology of colors, and you can take a look on 60-30-10 rule for starting. Then usage of icons, images, and illustrations. There are tons of free packages for illustrations, icons, and so on. So it might help you on your with your like design workflow a lot. Then there are spacing and grid systems. Mainly, the industry standard is, in my point of view, the 8-point grid system. So you can again search for articles on those topics, and then you can explore a particular components such as the best practices for using buttons, forms, and inputs, and mainly the navigation types, which are like crucial and for usable products. And mainly, if we talk about navigation types, evaluated like based on the platform you're designing for. So if it is in browser app, if it is a native mobile app, and so on. And if that was about like UI design, but the UX part of the process, you can take inspiration from these activities divided into particular phases. So you can again search for articles on those topics that you can see, for example, user flows, information architecture, and stuff like this. And that's all from my side for now.
It's time for Q&A.
Yeah, that was about the fundamentals of UX design industry. First of all, I really appreciate your time and that you invested your time into watching this presentation. I'm really happy about it, and hopefully there will be an opportunity to talk on some particular design topics, which will be much more detailed. This one was quite general, but yeah, I believe that this presentation might be also your first step on your successful design journey. And if you have any questions, we can discuss now, but you can also reach me out on my socials. And you can also consider joining my online course, which you can find on learning.atheros.ai. And I believe that's really all from my side, and we can start with some questions if there are some.
Oh man, yeah. Thank you so much for your time, man. This has been great. Everybody showing love in the chat, which I love. So we're gonna hit some questions. We got some great questions in here. A lot of them, I'm sure you hear a lot from people who are starting out. The most voted one was for somebody who is starting out in UX. How do you show value without having professional experience behind it? This is the toughest thing to tell somebody, and everybody comes up and asks, "What do you think?"
Yeah, definitely. Like for creating portfolio, if you just start it, you can like express your value through the concepts. It's like nothing. It's like nothing bad to not having real projects and or work that you done in a previous work. It's absolutely understandable because you're just starting, so you can start with the simple concepts of some general platform topics, like, I don't know, like project management tool. Then you can create landing page for a digital agency, or you can create a mobile app for, I don't know, selling crypto. And if you will showcase like your skills on those concepts, I think that you will attract the clients even if you don't have real projects, because they will see that you are able to deliver the full working product, and you are just starting. So of course he can save some, he can save, or he or she can save some costs, because you're just starting, so your rates will be lower. So definitely it's possible, you know, but I understand that, like, for starting, it's really difficult to get those first clients. Like I mentioned, for searching job, it's easier, but for freelancing, it's really difficult, and it might take some time. But like I mentioned, you have to be patient in that.
Yeah, I think it's definitely it's tough to start out, but you know, even in the professional experience, like how many projects have you worked through and did the whole UX process and it got held up in development hell, or it's never launched because of 100 reasons. You know, just because an item hasn't shipped doesn't mean that it's not portfolio worthy. You know, as somebody who hires designers myself, it's knowing that you know the process, know the journey, and know what you're looking for is so much more important than me saying like, "Oh my God, you have 5 projects that shipped, great." Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
like
one of the other questions we have is along the same lines. Um, as a beginner in a crowded market, what makes you stand out as a UX designer?
on what, on the credit market?
Like in this, knowing that you said that everything is so crazy, this market is hot right now. Everybody wants UX designers because they have digital products and they don't know where to begin. Like, how do you stand out as a UX designer?
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. You can, like, the important aspect are social media, because you can also approve through social media your, like, expertise, and you know, the potential clients will see that, you know, like, you are relevant, because others on social media, um, you know, agree with you, agree with, like, supporting your work. So it might give you, like, yeah, value proposition in comparison with others. But yeah, like I said, it's not easy, and it takes some time. But it's not like, you have to, like, push it only through social media. If you will start with that LinkedIn, and having, like, doing courses, like having a strong profile on LinkedIn, you will attract recruiters anyway. I believe so.
Yeah, and it's you brought up a really good thing, and it goes back to the original part, right? Like we when we see you on social media and we see you talking about UX design or doing those multi-slide posts, you know, it helps us know that you understand the job, like you understand what you're doing, and
Yeah,
then as
yeah.
you're learning, if you keep doing those educational posts, it helps you really validate like what you're doing and how you're doing it. I'll give a shout out to somebody that I know who does it really well. Frankie Kastenbaum, you know, she's one of our ADP list mentors. Straight up kills it. Like, even I've met with her a bunch of times and asked her, "How do you have time to do it?" But it's, you know, it does help in every way, shape, or form of even inspiring people. I think that's also a big
Mm.
part of our job is being out there and making sure that, like, you know, you're helping each other. Going back to originally, it's about the community, right? Like, this community is fire. Like, we're here to
Yeah,
help each other.
yeah, definitely. Like, the community will help you in this way, like, to boost also, um, like, they will show you love. I'm sure about it.
Yeah. So here's a very good and interesting question. What is the scope of a UX designer in a non IT sector? Also, please
Mhm.
suggest some tips for freshers to get an entry in the industry. So, in non IT,
Mhm.
what do you think that?
Yeah, yeah. To be super honest, I don't have much experience in non-IT, yeah, like user experience. But in my point of view, it will be, like, the starting will be much more difficult for you, because, like, in the IT industry, um, the companies, now have much better view about user experience. But I guess that in other industries it will be not that like well known, and that they might take some time to show the value of user experience to potential clients or to companies. If you can provide like some particular industry, maybe we can discuss more in detail, but to be honest, it's quite difficult for me to answer like in general, you know.
Yeah, it's truly fascinating how UX research has kind of found a resurgence in non-tech products. You
Yeah.
know, back in the day, we built regular goods like bicycles, like how those each one has a different use case, what you need for it, what kind of tires, what kind of handlebars, to now using things like Alexa, which is kind of a hybrid digital product where it has a digital interior, but the exterior still has to be interacted with. Like, how do you know that
Mhm.
it's always listening and getting me avocados when I ask for it? Um, and where does UX come into that?
Yeah, definitely. Like the UX research will be the part which is overlapping across the whole across the all industries.
Here's my favorite question. How do you convince a company to invest in UX design and research when they'd rather just build and try?
Mhm. Yeah, uh, yeah. To be honest, that's a really frequent problem of mainly of freelancers, because companies like usually don't want to invest in UX research, because they were told you like we know our target users, we know all about them, but yeah, but once the product is released, it might be a little bit different. Yeah, it's about. Again, it's about explaining the process. I think if you will, it's nothing like what I just like proposed, that there is the frameworks that works. I mentioned the design thinking, and if you represent the process and it's like the most important pillars, I think they will understand the value behind the UX research. But definitely it might be on the first phases, on the first phases of the design process problematic. So, you know, I would lie if I would tell you that I didn't do like a project without UX research. We did also projects just like okay, we jumped to the high fidelity prototyping, and we like fast build the product without UX research. But definitely there will be some gaps that you should fix then.
Yeah, it's such a tough thing to sell in, and then as what it goes back to what you said earlier about communication and being able to present. I think one of our biggest tools is being an advocate for UX design, UX research, for the users themselves, for the business goals. I've heard constantly clients tell me, but I'm the core user. Are you though, or you just work here? Like, come on, be serious. um, a great question always comes up:
Yeah.
is coding required to be a UX UI designer?
Yeah, the short answer is no. Like it might be like it might be a huge advantage if you are aspiring to be a freelancer, mainly because you can offer to your clients like the whole like product delivery, but it's not required. Like, for example, I have just really basic coding skills, and mainly if you work then for on a bigger, like on a bigger products, there are like teams of 20 designers working on it, and definitely you will not be supposed to code to code the things.
Yeah, it's a tough thing. Like I have a background in development, but like I don't use it as much because also I'm not doing it every day. So like even my skills are definitely rusty as hell, but I know the makings of what makes a good component. I think it's just the overarching knowledge really does help out. We got a lot of questions about the difference between UX and UI. We got a lot of questions about communicating with recruiters. I will quick plug our last talk about contacting UX research recruiters. See it on the YouTube page. But I know you got a hard stop shortly, so I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us. You know, any last words for our group? Send them off in their day or into their night.
Yeah, I just want to thank you all for joining this group session. I really enjoy it, and I hope there will be opportunity to talk with you here. Yeah, like I said, on some particular topics according to UI or UX design at all. And yeah, thank you for that, and see you soon.
Awesome. Thank you again, everybody. Have a terrific day. We are going to send you off.